Derek and Clare. Oh, it's that way. We're just waiting for people to log on because there's a bit of a delay. And, please share, everyone that's coming on. Please share to your friends. We're just going to share to ourselves and see what's come up on the platform yet, because there is a bit of a delay. But how are we all doing? Tonight's subject is developing your mediumship and reading skills with an up-and-coming, I would say now famous, because you were at my show. Have you covered from the past life regression yet?
I know that was intense. I've actually done some research on that actually, which was really interesting. I found a few bits out. Derek had his show on Friday at the Chieftain, and I was the past life volunteer. And always remember that when you wake up from that, there's people looking at you.
Well, it's like I was going to play the video tonight, but I need to edit it. And your head, just your voice. So I'll need to send it to you, and I'll need to show some of the fans on here as well. If anyone's not had a past life regression, it's an amazing experience, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I'd never had one before, and that was something else.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Nigel.
Let's see if we get the chat.
Nigel is from Australia, so it's like super early in the morning over there.
Yeah, just wait for a few people to come on, and we'll get people sharing it, see if it's come on so I can share it on the phone to people and see if it's come up.
Hi, Louise. Hi, Marie. Bryce. Jean.
That's what we do first. We give people a chance to kind of go on, and we can share it, and we can then get into the subject, which is developing your mediumship and reading skills. And I'm going to interview Clare on how she got into the mediumship, the mystic faith. What do you like to be called, Clare? Oh, your name.
I know being called Clare is fine, but I'm known sort of. The thing that I'm also known as is the mystic fae, because I wanted something that kind of encompassed everything really, rather than just my name, with everything that we did. So we decided, we had a good think about it and thought the mystic fae seemed right with it, but Claire's fine.
I've seen your website that you're very closely linked to crystals, and you sell them.
Yeah, we sell a lot of crystals. I mean, the reason we got into crystals is because I'm always super been into crystals, the power and knowledge and using the crystals. And people kept asking when I was sort of doing readings, do you, and I did workshops on them and stuff on my group, and people kept asking, do you actually sell them? So we kind of got to the point that we thought, well, we may as well do it now. So we make sure that we ethically source everything, to know where everything's coming from and things like that. And so we set up the website. My daughter actually did the entire website. That's a little bit beyond my remit, I'm afraid, all this technical stuff. But yeah, no, I just absolutely, crystals in healing and using are just absolutely incredible. And to use it, and you can use it to help channel the spirit guides, everything like that is just, so it's just, it has to be done.
Yeah, I've got crystals everywhere around me, and even the house, they're on windowsills, they're all over the place. And I actually worked in a crystal museum in Treasures of the Earth in Fort William for about 7 or 8 years when I lived down there. And it was just like a dream come true. And sometimes you get overwhelmed by all the crystals in one place, and the energy is quite intense, but I just love it. And it's the only time my kids were really quiet when they came to see me in the Crystal Museum. And they just love touching, feeling them, and it calms people down.
It really does. It really does. And they just, I found, working in a crystal museum, oh my goodness, that would be definitely an ideal job. It's like, and to get it in, and they're just so magical. They've got so much power, and they're so beautiful, and they're just, they're natural. That's the thing with them, and it's just got so much power, and they really are calming and relaxing, and it's just, Yeah, absolutely adore them.
Yeah, and I'm just checking the live stream just now. It's on. Also, we're on fancy software just now, which is quite good for us because we're not the most experienced at doing this, but we are getting streamed to YouTube and Twitch. So if some of your friends that are out there that don't have Facebook, they can go to Twitch and say Happy Medium 65 or my YouTube channel, and you can see it on there, or you can watch it later. It's like,
This is all new to me, this thing.
and I think it's like some people say, "Oh, we need to do this, need to go on this," but I still prefer the old-fashioned shows like I did on Friday night. It was in my element on Friday,
Oh, yeah, it was brilliant.
and it was good to get back. It's good to get back to doing that live events again and tuning into people's auras, tuning into people getting used doing some work. And we actually picked somebody out of the audience just randomly, and we got her to bring energy through, you could say. And we kind of tricked her because we pretended there was somebody behind her, and I wasn't. And she got a lovely message because I believe, Claire, that we can all do this. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
Yeah.
What do you believe about that?
Well, I believe we've all got the ability to be able to do it as well. I think the thing is when we're younger as well, we're more open to it because obviously we haven't been conditioned. I think when we get older, we're conditioned to, that's not real, that's what you believe in, that's what you should do. But we've all got it. I mean, we've all had those moments where our intuition has told us something inside us says, don't do this, or this isn't right, or something. And I just feel that it is within everyone's reach to be able to do it. And it's just a case of unlocking that potential and being able to get the right person and the right, the right group to be able to help you develop into that ability to do it. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, and I think, and excuse me now because I was just sharing that to my personal page as well. But you're right, and I think it's my story was when I knew I had something, I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And it was I went in kind of the back door through my Reiki development, you could say. That helped me calm down. It helped me kind of ground and tune in. And I'll never forget sitting there for 45 minutes getting attuned. And I was picking up some stuff and I always thought I had something. Even when I was involved with trade union movement, I had some out of body experiences when I'm doing a major speech. And it used to freak me out. It used to really kind of, and it wasn't until I went to some development groups, the spiritual church kind of movement, and all that I realised that I wasn't strange. I wasn't going off my head, and that was without drugs. I was with, I know some people connect with drugs and they get all that, and I've seen loads of videos of people talking about that, and I think if we push it and we go too far, sometimes we get the negative side of it. And we're all empaths. We all can pick up on the person next to us and tune into that person. But when you tune into an energy, it's the same feeling, but we don't see them.
Yeah.
And that's how I explain it to people. Because we can all tune into the person in front of us. We can all get that feelings. So what brought you into this field?
Sorry, that's my chihuahua deciding that they're going to bicker. It's always chaos in here, just so everybody is aware.
We've spoken the show. We bring through animals as well, and probably some things.
Definitely. What brought me into it is I could always sort of see them from when I was younger, and I spent a long time not opening up. No, I don't want to know. It scared the life out of me, to be honest. And then I kind of got to the point a few years back that I just was feeling like something was missing. And I felt, I don't know, it's kind of like I felt kind of angry and just, I didn't know what was missing. I felt that I needed to do something. And then I went along to the spiritualist church and I realized I'm going to have, this is what I need to do. I can't suppress it anymore, and to not be scared of it and to actually focus on doing it and listen to what I was being told and let them come through and learn to channel it properly, instead of being overwhelmed by everything. And so I kind of, that's why I got into it. And it's just made me, I mean, people tell you I'm a much calmer person. And it's just, yes, I feel just like I've got a purpose now, that I'm doing some good.
And it's so, see when we connect to that loved one, the love that we feel, even if they're falling out, we still feel that love. And it's hard to explain to people. It's a divine kind of love. And we feel it, and we really feel that. And we try and put it across to our clients or the person in front. And people forget we are the man in the middle or the woman in the middle. We're just a messenger, and we'll send them to you. We'll send them to the person, and they'll feel that energy as well, that love energy. And there's no love like it. It's hard to explain unless you've been touched by that. And to get that maybe last cheerio, or if you didn't get a chance to say cheerio to somebody who passed over, it's a great gift to give. But I always say to people, and people ask about mental health and stuff like that the person that we've lost is the same person up there. If they weren't very good at something, they're still not very good at something up there. And I always say, they don't always have the answers. The divine answers that come are above, and that's the teachers, that's the spirit guides, are higher up, right? So I always say to people, only person that can change you is you. But it's nice to get that loving, caring message from someone that passed over. And especially if it's been a difficult time before they passed over, or if they died suddenly. It's such a gift to give back to someone. And the biggest one that I got, and I came up on the show on Friday, was people who didn't get a chance to see cheerio or see the person that's passed over. But if I was lying there, I don't want to see my kids' faces when I pass over, because I don't want to see the sadness. I get it when, as soon as you go out the room, they pass over, like they sneak away.
It is. I mean, the thing is we're very blessed to be able to pass on those messages, and that's how I view it. Is that we get given them. It's not sort of we're sitting there thinking, "Oh, I'm so great. We do this." We are blessed to be passed these messages, to be able to pass them on to the loved ones, and to be able to give them the messages. And for me as well, there's a lot of emphasis, like you were saying, on people. They feel they should say goodbye when people are dying, and they need to, and absolutely understand that. But your loved one knows that you love them, and they don't, like you're saying, they don't always want to see you when they're passing over and things, because it's difficult. It is difficult.
And it's sad when we don't get a chance to see cheerio, or if you've had an argument with somebody before they've passed over. And that takes sometimes years of healing, and some of the things come over. We had a question earlier on, I'll show it here. And Karen Kemp, I'm struggling with my mental health. What crystals are good for this?
Okay.
I'll let you answer that, and I'll give you a favourite one for that.
With those ones, there are a few different ones which are good with mental health. One to always have in your stack, whether or not, and what I would like to say as well is you don't have to have a huge, massive piece of crystal. A small piece of crystal is just as effective. So you don't have to go out and sort of spend a fortune on things, is to have your clear quartz, because what that does is that will actually amplify and help clarity of mind as well. And it amplifies all of the properties of the other crystals that you have around you as well. Particularly things for, if you're talking about anxiety, depression, that kind of thing, you're looking at something along the lines of celestite or rose quartz is a particular good one for help with self-love and getting your confidence back in yourself as well. Also tiger's eye for confidence. Sorry. Those ones would be very, very good. It literally depends on sort of things. But the general one as well, black tourmaline as well, is incredibly good for mental health, as is howlite as well. Now, they do say the properties of howlite can help with sleeping as well. So if you have howlite near your bed, you can put it under your pillow. But obviously, if it's a raw piece, probably wouldn't be so comfortable. So that might not help so much. So pop that to the side. But those are generally the go-tos of what I would say with helping with mental health. And so
I recommend black tourmaline quite a lot to customers, because it blocks negativity.
It does.
What I have to do with that crystal is cleanse it.
Yes.
And sometimes you pick it up. Some people put them at their door and everything. You pick it up and you can feel the energy.
Yeah, you can.
And you can go and flush it away because you can reflect that energy. That's what I'm trying to say. But somebody else asked the question in Crystal. It's Neil. Neil Simpson, is there a crystal you would recommend having around while doing a reading? Well, I always say is amethyst and rose quartz is my two crystals I have when doing readings, because amethyst is the intuitive side. I like my tiger's eye. That's my birthstone as well.
Yeah.
And tiger's eye is one I like to have around me. I used to have in my pockets. But see, after a while, Claire, once you get to know the crystals, like yourself, we can tune into the energy of the crystals without having the crystal actually there.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. Sometimes I have crystal cards. I should have brought some on the show tonight and should have hunted them down, because I forgot that you love your crystals and you sell crystals. And it's a big part of you. And it's like I get left a crystal ball when somebody as well, actually, and I never actually use a crystal ball, but they say crystal balls reflect the third eye.
Yeah.
Crystal balls and all that, it's just a focus that reflect. It's like when I'm staring into water, I kind of go into my third eye, I go into that mystical place, or I'm looking at the clouds and we scry. And that's where the tea leaf readings that we do comes from, it's scrying. So you can scry in a crystal. And I used to love multi-wave or some of these kind of bigger crystals where you just stare in and you see things in the crystal. And that's an amazing thing to do, is actually meditate with a crystal.
Yeah, I mean, mine, I have the rose quartz and I have the amethyst around. I personally also like to have the celestite around because I find that really helps connect to the higher realms. And it's just one of my personal favorites with them as well. What I always do with the cleansing is you can cleanse it with selenite as well. You can put them in a selenite bowl, cleanse them with that. Also, putting them under, tonight is the super full moon. So popping it on your windowsill under that as well is always really good to help charging them up and stuff like that as well, and cleansing them.
This hopefully answers Marie O'Reilly's question. Yes, why do crystals sometimes not work? Sometimes when you cleanse them first, or something they've been, you say, contaminated. It's like contaminated people's energy. Because I always have my own crystals and make sure, or me and Angela have some we use jointly, and make sure that you cleanse them, and it's really important to do that. And it's like, here's it. And there's Fiona Collins. To sort of change the subject slightly, I'm seeing treble numbers everywhere, particularly 888, 999. I feel as though it means something, but I don't know what. It's been like this for a few months now, everywhere. Well, I love numerology. I didn't get a chance to do it in the show on Friday night in Inverness. And numerology is older than astrology, and there's a lot of movies about and we incorporated into it. And the 888, which then becomes 3 8s. I can't even think there. 3 8s becomes. Here's me going blank. It's like 16, 24, isn't it? It's like 3 years. And it's like the 999. 24 is a love number. So 8's a strength number. But the angel numbers, and you can just type into Google now, the angel numbers come up. And it's like the 666. That's a devil's number. It's not, actually. It's the devil's card is 15 in the tarot cards. But 1 and 5 is 6, which is the lover's card, because you always bring it down. And when you get 18 in the 666, it becomes 9, which is an old soul and wise old soul. So it's how we use numbers as well. But I always say numbers have an energy, and it's good to kind of think of a number and visualize how it feels, and then do a reading. So good question about numerology here, but what somebody just asked, because we really are supposed to be talking about mediumship and developing our mediumship tonight. There's somebody saying, I'll just answer this quickly, and it's because it's quite common. I brought black obsidian with me to protect me against the next, and he ended up turning up and having me in tears. Then I lost faith in crystals. What I think's happened there, and this happens quite a lot, is because we're thinking of the ex, we attract them.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got to delete that thought. Right? And the Black Obsidian probably still protected you and give you that kind of emotional protection. But very often, if you keep thinking a situation, it'll come back to haunt you. We have to delete that thought. And, you know, that does happen quite a lot to my clients is if you think about something negative all the time, negative stuff happens. If you start thinking about the positive stuff happens. We attract what we think about.
Yeah.
And there's many examples with many kind of teachers and all that on that. And it's, you know, so, but I always say to people, it's you that has to fix you, and it's you that has to protect you. So do the groundwork first, you know. And I'm still learning, and I've been doing it for 20 odd years. What about you, Claire?
Well, that's it. I think you never stop learning. That's how I view it. It doesn't matter how long or how short a time you've been doing it. I think when you stop learning, that is when you get the problems, because you can't ever know everything about everything. And there's always something to learn, and you always need to keep your mind open and learn new things. I mean, it's part of growing as human beings and growing in spiritualness, in mediumship, in everything.
Yeah.
It's just so much knowledge out there. It's just incredible to learn it.
I always say that mediumship is a tool.
Yeah.
And it's one of many tools. It's not, because some psychics aren't mediums, you know, but they're very good psychics.
Yeah.
You know? But you have to be psychic to be a medium. It's like, you know, and that's not a bad thing, because I've met some amazing astrologers, psychics.
Definitely.
You can't bring somebody through, but they give me so much channeled information, whether it's in poetry or pictures as well, because not everybody wants to experience mediumship or go down that path.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean to say they aren't a medium, though. You know, and I think that's like you. I love my crystals, and that could probably open me up. And the fact that my great granny was very, very sick, and she was a medium, and it was in the family anyway. But it was kept very quiet in the 1920s and 30s, and I think that's why now there's so many people opening up, like yourself. I think it's fantastic. But there's a lot of fear around mediumship. And have you experienced that fear from your clients or your own fears?
Yeah, there is. I mean, I think there's still, to a certain degree, there's kind of a negative connotation from some with relation to the term psychic or medium, because you do obviously get those that aren't, you know, true to what they do. I mean, but you get that in every single field that you're in, you know. And I mean, it can be, there are certain things that, you know, you'll know yourself. There's certain things that you know that you wish you didn't know, that you can't go and tell people. And that is, I suppose, the downside of some of the things we do, you know, when you know things that you really wish you didn't know. That makes sense without elaborate, but do you know what I mean? And I feel that some clients do come in and they do kind of are a bit, oh gosh, what's going to happen? What's this? And we'll say to them, it's not a negative thing. It isn't anything to worry about. This is just, you know, you can never say that this particular person will come through. They'll always give you the message that you're needing at the time and what you're needing to hear. So they're never going to come out and say this is going to happen on this particular day or this, because there are so many variables with things. So it's just making your client feel comfortable, really. And, you know, and I mean, I got over my kind of fear of, you know, when they start mucking around and doors things and things move and you know, I mean, in my house, they have a kind of fit, you know, Joe's like, what's going on? And you're like, no, it's all right. It's okay. We can relax.
I always say to people, when you get stuff like that, right, I just say, and I kind of command them, I take control, saying, come into my thoughts. I know you're there. Don't materialize and scare a living daylight out of me. Thoughts. Now that when I say come into my thoughts, that could be I'm drawn to something. It could be a picture. It could be a card I'll pick out in my head. Or I'll use the card that's in my brain to show me stuff. It's like, and it's never exact. And they're all at different levels, like weird. And it's like when you seen the show on Friday night, some connections weren't as strong as others because it depends on their knowledge as well and how to communicate using thought. And that's what you call mental mediumship. And a lot of people in the olden days used to have ectoplasm come out and it was smoky, and that's the state of dead skin, Claire. it's like, and shakes used to form and clouds and stuff like that as well. I'd rather just do the mental mediumship and have the thoughts come in.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not always exact. And I told a story when I was developing on a freshers night, and I seen this HP. So my clients have heard a lot of this. An HP sauce bottle over somebody's head, and I went, "I can't have that." But I gave it, and the person started crying. It was like really emotional. I didn't have a clue why, Claire. So she came up to me, she grabbed my hand. That was amazing. I'm going, I don't know what I've done. Sat down with a cup of coffee, and I found out her brother, who's a big construction guy, you know, bit overweight and stuff like that. He was on a big bacon roll, and he was clattering it in HP sauce. He did bollockings from his doctors about not eating properly. And he was given statins and all that sort of stuff to bring his cholesterol down. And she jokingly said to him, if you don't behave yourself, you're going to come back to me as an HP sauce bottle. He took back 2 weeks later and he died. Now, as soon as he said that in private, it was like somebody talking in my ear. Now, that's a clear audience, and it's very rare to get such a connection. And it was always like he was whispering in my ear, and he was giving me symbols and everything, and it was totally fascinating. To me, that made it all worthwhile. And it was. I think I paid for that. It was free, but it gave me the confidence to basically just give what we get. Have you ever had any sort of funny situations when you've been developing?
Yeah, you do. You kind of when you're sitting there and they'll say something, and you kind of sit there going, "Well, that's kind of a bit risque. I'm not too sure whether I should be saying that to the person or not." And you kind of have to go, they kind of told me that effectively you need to pull your finger out and get it together, but they put it in a certain way. And the client ends up laughing and saying, "Yeah, that's my dad. You know, that's exactly what it is. That's my dad." I'm saying, does this actually mean, saying, and you're like, does this actually mean something to you? Because this sounds a little, this is going to sound a little bit weird, but, and it meant something to the client. And she's like, "Yeah, that's my dad." And no, he's absolutely right. Yeah, I do. Which is kind of like, it's so weird when you come out with things like that. And you're kind of sitting there thinking, well, nothing as elaborate as an HP bottle sauce. Yeah, I have to say, no, just kind of sayings. But
we'll just go back to some of the chat. There's some good questions. Here, words. I will help you. Just try to think. There was one there. See if I can go back to me. Oh, here we go. Nigel. It's like I've got a lot of meditation. How do you differentiate between spirits and angels? Very good question, Nigel. And I think there's no real right or wrong answer here. It's like, because you can have orbs that are angels, you can have orbs that are the spirit, and it's just energy, and they're all energy forms. Some people have seen dragons and stuff like that, and some people have seen unicorns and whatnot as orbs, right? There's lots of information you can do research on this, and you can actually go off your head, do some research. And I remember doing the ahs and ums, right? And it's like a kind of Buddha kind of meditation type thing. And we thought we'll do this, and it's all about vibration. So we're doing it, and it was me and these two guys from Ireland that were doing it. And we've been on the drink the night before, so you can imagine how we were feeling in the morning. And it was in Stansted Spiritualist College. So we're doing the no, I was laughing. It's like I've never done anything like that before in my life. Now we're eventually into tune, and I could feel the back of my hair going and neck and stuff. And I went into what you call transfiguration, and the teacher had to take control of us because it raised our vibration that much that we're bringing spirit in, and we did trance mediumship, which transfiguration is the face changes and everything. Totally fascinating. I'll never dinghy the eyes and ums again in my life. It's like, but this is what I'm saying to it. There's so many different ways. Now, if you go back in time in Scotland, right, Scotland was Pickland, and the Picts were Druids, and they did all this stuff. It's part of our culture that we forgot about. Like the red sky at night, the shepherd's delight. And the clan chiefs used to teach the clan braves to read signs in nature. You know? So all this stuff that's been, you could say, we've been accused of witchcraft and all that stuff, and the witches have been forgiven, by the way. It's like, they were healers, not witches, half of them. And that was a terrible. And Nicola Sturgeon this year actually apologised on behalf of Scotland, because Scotland killed more witches than any UK country. Yeah. But you look at what we're doing now, Reiki healing, vibrational, sound baths and all that stuff. Even 50 years ago, people were saying that we're witches or devils.
Yeah.
You know, and that's unfortunate, because look how many people could have helped. You know?
I mean, that's the thing here, is that now it's really good that it is opening up and people are more open to these sort of things now, because, you know, you can do a lot of good work and a lot of help a lot of people now without so much of the stigma or anything attached to it. And it's really what anyone wants, you know?
Yeah. And see, when you did that first connection, your first development, how did you go about it? Was it a development circle, or did you just kind of do stuff when you were younger? How did you develop? How did you kind of realize you had something?
Well, I used to see and talk to spirit when I was very, very young, when I was a child. And it used to scare the life. It didn't scare the life out of me when I was younger, but I used to do it, and I'd hear things, and I'd know things, and I'd get all that kind of stuff. And when I kind of got to about 16, 17, I was like, no, I need to shut this off now. It's just scaring the life out of me, because I didn't know what I was doing with it, didn't want to do it, just too much. And so I didn't. And so when I decided I was going to get sort of back into it, I suppose, I was very unwell in 2003, sort of near-death experience. And after that, it became a lot more prevalent. And so I needed to sort of just spoke to them, but I never really kind of did anything as such until I went into the spiritual church. And after that, I decided I would join the development circle there and speak to some people there. I did some development groups online, just went to a lot of the mediumships and just spoke to, people like yourself, and just started developing it more, meditating and doing all the connections. And then it was just kind of flowing in, really. I joined a couple of groups on Facebook, and I had a lot of support on that as well, and it allowed me to grow, allowed me to do the card readings, allowed everything, and it just really started flowing, and it really it started developing and rising and rising and rising, and it still is. And I still sit there and think, damn, okay.
It's just like when I first started 15 years ago, and I'm seeing it's like yourself, and I look at your Instagram. I think you just started with Instagram first, didn't you? And it was like you've got quite a good following there. And I thought, well, that's what happened to me, is that I started doing little things, and then obviously I got a week on the psychic TV, then I got kind of shows and whatnot. And all of a sudden, when Facebook kind of came up, it was all over the place. But you get the negative side of it as well, and you get people kind of putting you down and all that as well. Now, we're doing it for the greater good. Because no one should leave a reading feeling bad.
No.
Even though something bad's coming up. And by law, we're not allowed on telly to speak about fertility, finance, or health. Anyway, that's a few questions that people ask. In private, we see options for the future. It's still up to you to. If I see I see a new job coming up for you, you've still got to apply for the jobs.
Yeah.
It's and we can give predictions. Some of the predictions come true, some don't. But it's what you do with that information. It's the same as you get a mediumship connection or a channel connection. It's up to you what you do with that information. Now, we've had to train, we've had to work at it to perfect these gifts. And, you know, people think we just all of a sudden, yes, we've all got a gift. We sit in circles, we develop, we do courses. But Spirit don't give you a certificate. So we have to work at it. Now, that whether that's in energy healing, or whether that's in crystals and learning, or whether it's reading about angels, unicorns, or any other sort of stuff, or the way you've been brought up as well. Because some ethnic cultures, they actually incorporate that into their cultures as well. So it doesn't really matter where you come in from. And there's more people awakening than ever now. And it could be something to do with the lockdown because people are fed up. And you have to have you have to have a positive mindset, and you can manifest what you desire. And that's what Nigel Simpson's saying there. And it's true, because I'm a life first. But just to explain a lot of people, right? The law changed, and people. We now come under the Consumer Act. So even though we're maybe doing it through a spiritualist church, we have to, by law, say that the readings are for entertainment and of an experimental nature. And I have to brainwash myself to say that before every reading. And we have to say it live on air as well. So if we do put some cards later on for people, or we do try and get a connection, and it's always different. As you say, Claire, sometimes we see stuff and feel stuff that we can't give. It should be done one-to-one. But we can be shown things to explain maybe something nasty that happened. I remember somebody came through and they were stabbed in a bus, and they kind of showed me the picture, blah, blah, blah. And it was his best friend that stabbed him because they were in a fight over a girl and they were playing with knives. And his best friend killed himself. Now, I was shown that, but I couldn't say it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not using any names just now. Now, to understand that we're both there for this person, and this is the girl that we're fighting over. And she became a prison officer, and she does talks on knife crime. So in some ways, it's part of our journey. And this is the sort of things that happen on our developing journey all the time. I don't know if you get in the instances that what we do can change people's lives sometimes.
Yeah.
I also believe that we should be training counselling and life coaching, other therapies as well, just to assist the client, because there's loads of really, really good mediums. They don't have any empathy skills. You've probably met a few in your journey.
Yes. Yeah, there are a few, and sometimes people come out with things and you're like, probably wasn't a good idea to say that, but
Yeah.
You can only, this is the thing, you can only be responsible for what you do as a person and as a medium. And as long as you're doing the best that you can and doing it for the right reasons, that's all you can do. That's all anybody can do.
Yeah.
With it.
I always say to people is, if you want a mediumship type reading, or anything sort of reading really, is just go to the person you're drawn to. Because sometimes the person you're drawn to is not the most high profile one.
Yeah.
Or, the best one. Because we're all the same. It's like, no, I've done some readings that weren't very good. I didn't get connection, and Ange will come in, and she'll get a better connection because she was female. Or she'll bring somebody to me. I can't get in for this lady, and I'll get it straight away. There's no right or wrong. And we'll see that when we demonstrate some more skills in the card readings that we do later on.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've got a pack of cards that would help, or we'll just go to the connections later on. We can get people to ask some questions. And we'll wait about 5 minutes, though, because as soon as you say that, there's a rush of texts to read. But I just want to kind of carry on with the kind of developing your mediumship and kind of your reading skills. What advice would you give to somebody who's just starting out?
For me, what I would say to anyone is, if they're just starting on mediumship, or they're just starting on, that's my cat, by the way. Cat
Sign of intuition, a cat.
Is what I would say is always, just remove said cat, sorry. Madness in this house. Is if you're looking for a cards or anything like that you want to start with, then again, go for the ones that you're drawn to. Just go. There's no sort of right or wrong cards. You can do the tarot, oracle cards, anything like that. And just get familiar with them. Just follow what you're thinking with it, and just shuffle with them, get to know them, and really in tune yourself with them, and then pull yourself one every so often and just learn them and see what, rather than sort of just getting out the book and seeing what it says, look at it, look at the image, look at what's in front of you and see what it's telling you. What you feel, see what it's telling you. That's what I would do when starting. And with mediumship and thing is, if you're looking for development circles and looking to develop that, like you're saying, go very much with who you feel comfortable with, and you'll find the right guides, the right people that are going to come to you, and just trust yourself. And that's the most important thing. And that's the most difficult thing as well when you're doing it, because you'll get something and first of all you're thinking, am I getting that, or am I thinking that? What am I doing? Is this, it's learning to trust yourself and to trust that you are interpreting what you're getting and you are getting the messages through. That's how I did it, is just get to know the cards and don't, because it is easy. Anyone can pick up the book, read the book, see what's in it and see what it's supposed to say. And you're like, all right, that. But it's about interpreting it and looking at it, look at the images, look at the pictures, look at the words, look at everything on there and look at how it's speaking to you and learn to interpret it that way. That's what I used to do. Well, that's what I still do, to be honest. To be honest, I don't think you ever stop.
It's like every time you get a new pack of cards, I play with them before I read the little book. It's like, and very often the feelings is the same what I pick up. And there's certain cards, it's like when we do the tea parties, we did a show the other night, it's like angel cards like these. And I say, well, look at the picture, as me pulling one for you. Look at the picture. Now, I see the lady feeding the sheep. So the lady, she's the shepherd, she's the leader, right? And the 9 of action there. And number 9 is a very strong number, the 3 threes. And it's like, this is for you, Claire. It's like, you worked hard, create the things you cherish in your life, such as beloved relationships, amazing accomplishments, hearth and home, there's a good word. Rest assured, all these treasures and you are being constantly protected by your angels. In return, Mother Earth, the animals, and the environment need your protection. Well, the animals have been all over you tonight.
They have, yeah.
It's like, we scribe the card, you see the house in the distance there, and that's the security. And look at the red roof. And red is the root chakra. And that's grounded. So it's a very grounding roof. So that's me just pulling a card for you. And that's basically what you were saying. Look at the card and the picture first.
Yeah.
Watched on, because I've always said to you that should be doing more of this sort of things and more lives and more maybe some public work now, because it's like a lot of people, I need to do that other course, I need to do this, I need to do that. Just go and do it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you to just go and do it as well.
I know. I'm like, it's getting over that nerve, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I'm kind of see your shows and I'm like, no, I won't be doing those. And you're like, yeah, you're going to. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and at some point in doing it.
And that's why we brought up the other person that I chose to come up and do mediumship.
Yeah.
It's okay to say, I can do a better job. But see, when you go up there and you're in front of people and they're all looking at you like that, and like I obviously use a bit of humour and a bit of fun, a bit of banter with the clients to give myself that bit of time to channel and connect. And sometimes I'm arguing with people upstairs. So it's like, because like we had somebody's husband came through, she didn't really want the husband to come through at the end. It's like, but there was a message there, and it was very forgiving, or asking for giving a message. And that's the power of these things. If we couldn't sort things out on this side of life, they try and sort things up there and come back. Yeah. And I believe we're reborn anyway, and that's why I do the past lives. And we come in to try and learn a lesson we didn't learn. You know what I mean? And we're sent back. And I certainly believe in that, because I've done so many past life regressions now that I know we definitely come back, because some of the stuff is just totally fascinating. And And just on that, the past lives, I'm actually working this Sunday because I'm taking some time off through the week and whatnot. So if anyone's, I'm in the office on Sunday because Angela's working as well. So if anyone wants a session, not very often I work on Sunday. If anyone wants a video session or a face-to-face in Elgin, please get in touch because I'm taking some time off through the week with my wee one next week. She's coming up. And that'll be, she loves unicorns. So if I could go and find some unicorns and put them in the house. My wee one. Did you see penguins in your past life regression, Claire?
I must explain this. I am penguin obsessed, and basically Nigel never knew when he joined one of the spiritual groups that I was in that our destiny is we're going to open a penguin sanctuary, and we're not sure if he's on board with this yet, but he cannot fight destiny. So
in Fort London, one of my friends, nice to mention, is she's got a penguin kind of shop. She sells ornaments and things, and she is addicted to penguins.
Oh,
so I'll really introduce you to you.
Yeah, it's every time I do a live.
A website as well.
Yeah, I do a penguin fact when I was doing my card lives, you see.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what that's about.
Because now, what we're going to do, are you up for this?
I am.
Done 45 minutes. Is we're going to do some readings.
Okay.
Words, and remember, guys, it's only a quick kind of session. So just type in up card or something, or I want a reading, and we'll kind of go through the list as a kind of there, and we'll do some live demonstration readings and just go where kind of. We'll read out some of the comments as we're waiting. Wendy Robertson, speaking of unicorns, how on earth did they end up being Scotland's national? I did. Somebody told me that, but I've forgotten, Wendy. I want to do research on, and it's not just Scotland's; it's the UK's, because it's on the passport. You know.
Yeah.
Here we go. As soon as you mentioned readings, they're all there. Yeah, I've got dolphin cards. Marie, you got a wee reading off of my dolphin card. They're amazing. I love the dolphin energy. Yeah. And I very often use them in meditations as well. Karen Kemp. Let's see now. Here you go, Karen Kemp. She's the first to have a card. You want to have a go?
Okay, yeah, why not? I'm going to use, I'm kind of plugging, I'm going to use the Moonlit Messages, which are ones that we've, they're the ones we've designed. Because I thought because of the being the full moon energy, go with those. And
I think you said, did you actually make some more?
Yes, I did. These are all my own work. Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah. So let's have a look and see what they've got for Karen, shall we? Okay. Okay, Karen, you have got
one up here. Here we
one
go.
Here. There we go. And that one says that your dreams hold the key to your current situation. So there's some things that you've been debating, some decisions that you need to make, and they're trying to give you the messages through your dreams. So what's really good is if you've got a journal or anything like that, you can write anything down to try and remember some of your dreams, because the answers, you're a bit unsure about which direction you're wanting to take, which way, whether you want to go this way, that way. A lot of things going on in your mind at the moment. So pay close attention to your dreams, because they are trying to give you the answers through that to help you make the decision you need to move forward. So I'm hoping that resonates with you there. That's what I got for you, Karen.
Lovely card.
Thank you.
I felt energy with that as well. I'm just checking on, just getting stuff on my phone here as well, because we're changing things around. So that was Karen. Who's after Karen? Angel. Good evening. Still, change your Michael cards there. Yeah. Oh, she still reads them. That's good. Just saying hello to some people who know me. Ellie, you must have. Is it a tattooed dolphin you've got? Nigel Simpson. Where was the?
You're welcome, Karen.
Karen. I'll hide that one. Right, okay. Oh, it's Ruth Templeton. card. Should I move or stay where I am? Ruth. My first, I'll do a joint one here because Ruth knows me and all that. My first inclination, I'm going to go for a normal kind of Rider Waite card. And I see number 17, and that's 17 people watching. And that's one of my favourite numbers. It's a very positive number 17. So if you want to be positive, and it's a new start card. So Ruth, I think it's going to come pretty soon. You've been looking at one, it's not quite right. I do feel there's one coming up that will be right and needs a bit of work. So, or something's coming up. Don't know what you're feeling.
I was feeling the same. And what we actually got here was the stairway to new beginnings here, which was, it's time to step out of your comfort zone and take the leap of faith. So I feel with that as well is kind of, you were a bit unsure about whether or not you should move, whether you shouldn't. And it is time to make that leap of faith, like Derek's saying, new start coming, and it's not going to be that long either.
Yeah, I do feel it's quite quick. Once you make the mind up properly.
Yeah, definitely.
And here's Maria O'Reilly. All right, O'Reilly. Love a message. All right. I'm going to do without cards. It's like, because the feeling I've got on my tummy, right, is I've been a little bit low lately, right, and a little bit sad, right. So somebody up there is giving you a boot up the bum to say you're a lot better than you realise, Marie, and there's some really good things coming up for you, right. And I've got a very sweet, kind of motherly type person here. What we say on there, but very sweet motherly person here who's given me a lovely kind of rose. Now the rose is a symbol of love, but it's also thorny, so there might be a little bit of tough love, or what it's saying is relationships haven't been brilliant, but you're over the worst, and there's some good friends and family coming at the gathering. But I do feel a lot of love coming towards you. Quick wee card. There's a figure up in spirit there, because that is a wise old soul up in the spiritual realms, because it's the King of Wands and he's the master of the spirit world. So I don't know what you're picking up there.
Well, we've got patience is needed, and this I feel, Marie, as well, is what Derek's saying, that things have been really difficult and quite rocky, and emotions have been all over the place at the moment. But just know that this period is going to pass, and you are going to feel much better in yourself, much stronger in yourself. And like Derek's saying, you've got spirit guiding you behind you saying, come on, you can do it. You've got to pick yourself up. You've got this. You're not alone. So that's what I got. That's the message there that I got for you.
And Louise Kelwin, and I know Louise as well. Cards. I'll let you do this one because I know her too well.
Okay, sure, no worries. Let's have a look and see what they've got for you, Louise, shall we? If everything suddenly goes crashing, that's because my other cat has decided to join the table.
See, they love the cat and sign in the pyramids is a sign of intuition.
Yeah. I know, they're crazy. My household's mad, so I can't. So I always say, we always call it mischief and mayhem whenever I go live, is generally the thing.
Marie says thank you, by the way. I just got the phone is further ahead than where we are now.
Okay. What we've got here, Louise, what I'm picking up with this is basically it's the world in your hands here that you've got. And this is open up to the possibility that you deserve more. The universe rewards an open heart. This is about, I feel, again, with you, things have been difficult. You've had some emotional times over the last few months. So I'm slightly distracted. I'm moving on the screen. It's a little weird. But what I'm getting, close up, terrible. But yeah, this is just believe in yourself and believe that you deserve more and that you are going to get more, because they are listening to you, they are hearing you, and that those dreams that you've been thinking about doing and the changes you're thinking about doing, those are going to work for you, and you are going to start seeing the results as well coming through with those. And what I really feel with this is that you've got a very good heart, very, very good soul as well. And as well as looking after everybody else as well, make sure that you are focusing on you and realize that you deserve the same amount of love and attention as well, because I feel sometimes that you kind of put everybody else ahead of yourself, but it's important to take a step back and look after you as well. But you can achieve anything that you're wanting to. So particularly if there's some kind of business aspect or something to do with your work is what I feel, go forward with that, because you're going to achieve it. That's what I've got there. Hoping that resonates with you. But that's a really strong message there, that it's to do with whatever you're putting your mind to. Now is the time to go for it. Now is the time to do it. It's a really strong message there for you that they're saying.
That's excellent, because I know him really well, and you just hit the nail on the head there. That's fantastic.
Okay.
Really good.
As I say, we just get.
Hear she's always running after other people, and looks after her mother, and she needs to look after herself sometimes. So we're always telling her that. So it's well done, Claire. And
thank you.
Pat, now this is somebody I don't know, so move this one.
Hi Pat. I know Pat, so you'll have to do Pat.
Well, I'm going to have to do some work now.
I know. Pat's lovely. But everybody's lovely. But yeah, I know Pat.
Yeah, I'll see. I'll put myself in a bit. I'm playing with this software. I'm loving it.
I'm just sitting there like I'm not used to. This is the first time we've actually, apart from when we did the test, that we've used this I've used this software. Yeah. And it's like the screen's moving. You can do all sorts. So I'm afraid I must warn my group and page. I'm going to be trying stuff with this because this is just epic. Well, I should say my daughter will be. Yeah.
Yeah. And Louise says thanks so much. So,
you're welcome. You're welcome, Louise.
Getting to Pat, right? Again, I feel a little bit low, Pat. So I don't know what I'm tuning into, if I'm just feeling a bit frustrated. But I've got there's something in front of me that I'm not seeing. And it's something good because it's a gift from God. It's an emotion, something I'm not seeing. I feel I'm traveling soon, so I don't know what I'm traveling to, but I feel like I'm looking forward to it, and it's something I want to do for a while, is to actually travel. And I know there's a lot of problems with that, but I do feel it's something that you've been wanting to do is going to happen. I've also got this, do you walk? Because I'm getting the sensation of walking, right? And it's like I'm power walking. Or I'm walking and I'm not shutting things off. I'm just walking fast. I'm not looking what's in front of me, right? And it's taking that breath and taking the beauty in and taking some time out for you. So it's a similar message to Louise, Pat. But I do feel like you need to focus on you, get that break that you need, and have some fun, because I'm feeling I need to laugh. I feel you're quite a funny person anyway, but sometimes we hide behind that humour. And we don't always tell people how we really feel. So I hope I'm resonating or touching some buttons there. But I do feel there's a little bit of healing being given to you because my hands are quite red. You need to take a step back a little bit. And I'm actually seeing some fruit in front of me. So I don't know if I'll have to go and eat properly or something. But somebody's got a bowl of fruit in front of me. So I've got no idea what that's about. So maybe you can enlighten me, Claire.
That makes sense. Totally makes sense. With Pat again is Louise and always running around after, and needs to look after yourself a lot more. Pat's just such a lovely soul and totally nailed it. Yeah. Just laughing at Nigel here. Who did I annoy in a past life, Claire? Everyone, Nigel. Absolutely everyone.
We should pull my card for that, but Marie McNeil, and I know Marie. Good evening. Still read Archangel Michael decks, and I remember I gave her the Archangel Michael cards because she was a therapist and she was fantastic at what she was doing.
Oh wow!
She worked in, I don't know if she's still working on the boats, and no, Marie McNeil. She's good evening, and I also think Marie, that you undersell yourself. So it's Maria, and I'd just like to see what Claire picks up on you, because it's obviously I've known her a few years now, but I do feel that she's very spiritual, very connected, but undersells herself.
Yeah, she's much more gifted than she gives herself credit for, is what I'm picking up with that. I mean, if I turn around and was in front of her, she'd be able to say this, and be spot on for sure. So I'm going to see what we've got coming through here. But yes, you've really got to learn on the whole self-confidence thing. And I mean, believe me, when I first went on the live or whatever, I was just like, oh my God, what am I doing? Am I going to be able to do this or not? But I do feel that it's super important. what I'm getting is you really have to start believing in you, and you really have to start putting yourself out there more and really start advertising more and really doing that, because you're very, very, like you were saying, you're very connected, you're very, very powerful in the messages that you're getting across as well. Really powerful with it. Your intuition is off the chart. You know, it really is. It's totally and utterly off the chart is what we're getting through here with that completely. So let's see what we've got here for you. Okay, yep. This might have a reason behind it. We've got the card here with the different phases of the moon, and this is heal your past, forgive yourself your mistakes, and use the lessons to grow and move forward. I feel with this, it's very much we're all human. We've all made mistakes. We've all not been, you know, perfect. We all do all that sort of thing. But no matter what it is, you just use those lessons. You can't change what's happened. So use those lessons, heal from that, move forward with that, and allow yourself to believe that you do deserve this and that you are gifted for a reason. There's a reason that you are this gifted, and it is to get out there and to help people. And no matter what's gone on previously, I feel it's been a bit of a tumultuous past in sort of the background here, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You've learned from that. We've moved on. We've all got things that are not great, but this is super important that you learn that you deserve this and that you can do this and that you are good enough to go forward with it and to move forward and to show people and shine your light, because you've got a lot of good work to do. That's what I'm getting here. You've got a lot of very healing hands too. Very healing hands as well is what I'm getting here. That's the message coming across there. So hoping that resonates, but it's really, really important message there for you, Maria.
Yeah, I think that was excellent.
Thank you.
I've just seen my fellow kind of psychic John McVeigh, who's John's Oracle, and we together. Come on, we might invite him on.
Oh, cool.
See what he does. And we can have a 3 of it.
Wow.
See what he's up. See what he's up. Yeah, you might bottle it. Pat saying thanks. Alana, I'm trying to think. Louise. Nigel. Nigel was wanting a card. I got to pull the card for him. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We better do Alana as well. I don't think we've done that.
Nigel.
Blessings to you too.
I've got the wrong one. Way back here. Nigel card there.
3. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That is significant. See, if you wake up at 3:30, it's great for doing meditations. It's great for opening up. It's a good channeling time in whatever you are in the world. And it's very divine number, 3 3s. So now I've pulled the 7 of Thought card. And Nigel, you've been confused because I've got confusion around in your life. And it's like, will I, won't I, when? It's like, I'm not quite sure. And now suddenly everything is becoming clear. Whether the truth is revealed by your angel, disclosed by a friend, discovered on its own, it feels great to be awake and aware. Feel free to ask for time alone if that's what you need. What that's telling me is you are developing and you are now picking up, or you're getting it, right? And also feels to me, right, that sometimes you don't listen to the message. It's like sometimes it's right in front of us, like the HP sauce bottle, and we don't give it. So what I'm saying to you is, you get something, you're drawn to somebody, go to that person, you'll find a way, and Spirit will help you, right? Because I don't do this for money. Yeah, I want to make money and earn money and write books and all sorts. I do this because I want to help people. I was a trade union official for years. I was a healer for years before I even started thinking about making money on this. And it wasn't until I was a single parent, Claire, that for some pocket money to help the kids, that I actually went full time. And that's where the name came from as well. Because I was involved with a football club when people started calling me a happy medium through that. And because I was freaking people out, I was also helping. So I'm a life coach first. So you know, if people want to come into this to earn money, just do guardian, you don't earn an awful lot of money. But if you come in and you want to be a therapist or a life coach, or like you, Claire, you want to build a shop and do stuff, you can make a living at it.
Yeah.
And some people do it as a second income, and you can make, but again, you have to practice, you have to do all the hard work, and it's not straightforward. Nigel, I think you could do this.
He could.
And I think I wouldn't say should, because that's telling you, is just listen to that guidance inside for the right time.
Yeah.
And people have to do it like the Gypsy Psychic. I take the mickey out of it in my shows, don't I? It's like the Gypsy Psychic. There's a lot of humour. You can do it other ways by working. Some people use their mediumship and they work in care homes to help people pass over. A lot of nurses are very spiritual Reiki masters. So there's different ways of doing this. So Nigel, start doing it. It's like, that's what I'm telling you. You know him, do you? That's what I'm picking up, you know? Yeah. I don't know if John's, is he coming on? So, we're in the USA, Dan Terry. Alana, you better do Alana before we do her.
Yeah.
Alana, I got a card. Yes, you can get a card. But we'll do one each, quick one.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Give a shuffle, give a good shuffle of the angel cards.
You shall.
Yeah. So that's Nigel validating. There's a lot of confusion with these. Maybe worth having a wee kind of private session with me, Nigel, because it could really help you. Look at this. What does that tell you straight away? It's like, you know, and you think about it, it's like, I'm being me. I need to take control. And it's like, I'm saluting. You're blessed with many wonderful things to do. It would be great if you could just take the time to make a plan first. Stop jumping into things. Take a step back, right? But you probably don't have the time. You do. So get busy, follow your instincts, and have fun. You are someone you meet as self-assured, capable, and enthusiastic and can do anything with a smile. But let's do it in a more organised way, because that's what I'm getting from my guys to tell you. It's be more organised. I'm not very good at being told about being organisation as well, but I have to start somewhere. You know, that's why I'm getting this software. It makes it easier for me. So getting organised is to find the right software for me, because I spent a year trying to figure out how to use all the mics, and I had all the mics on at the same time with all these oohing sounds. So I now pass on that learnings to a lot of people. And I mentor people who are starting out, hence why I'm helping you, Claire.
Yes, that's right, yeah. I mean, I got this stuff and had no clue what I was doing with it, yeah.
And it's like, we have to learn. And this is a great platform, and people should fear social media, because it is a great platform if it's used right. That's the secret. So you better pull a card for a no.
Alana, you've got one door may have closed, but the one that is opening holds the key to your future. So this is about letting go of the things in the past. Obviously, I know you, but this is about new opportunities which are coming up. A lot of new opportunities. And like Derek said, getting the organisation, as soon as you start getting the organisation and getting the plan in place of what you're wanting to achieve, it's going to happen. You know, you've got a lot of support network. You know, I'm around, but yeah. Total new opportunities coming in, lots and lots of exciting things which are coming on the horizon as well. So definitely towards the end of this year, something to look forward to for sure. So yeah, exciting times for you there, love. So a
different type of question here, and I get questions like this all the time. And it's Sally Price. Hi to both of you. May I ask, if someone see a shadow in their home, what do they say for them to go? Hope you don't mind me asking. Not at all, because this is the sort of questions that people ask. And, you know, there's things that you can do. And there's always the obvious ones where we call it sage a house. You can get these sticks you can burn. You can use the crystals, Claire, like me and Claire have mentioned earlier on. Also, speak to the shadow. and don't be frightened to speak, because sometimes we need to show them the light. And you just create that light in your mind saying, look, because some people hang around, and they just need to be shown or given a push. And I don't know, but you think that there's so much we could say in a development sense to make sure that we're protected.
I mean, I will ask them, if they can come out of the shadows, and ask them, can I help them? Is there something that they're wanting that they'll need to try and speak to me so I can help them? And sometimes they will, sometimes they'll just go, because I think being acknowledged sometimes is enough. So it literally all of the above. But yeah, as you say, it's we could open up a whole different talk on that completely, with everything that. But that's what I would start doing, is speaking to them. And if you're wanting them to go, say, can we can we do this later if it's not a good time? I mean, there was one time when I had them in my house, and they kind of freaked out a bit in this house, and he said, what are you going to do? You're going to go? And I said, right, I'll go and sort this. And he said, what, a spell or an exorcism? And I was like, well, I was just going to have a conversation, to be honest. That was all I was going to do, because they kind of got a bit freaked out. And that's what I did. And just went out and said, look, can we do this a bit later? Haven't really got time right now. You're freaking everybody out. If we could do this, great, that'd be great. And they did. And they came back, and we passed on the message who we were supposed to pass it on to. But yeah, that's generally just a conversation.
Yeah. I'm just going to invite John on here. And hello, John, can you hear us? He hasn't got his mic. Get your mic on, John. See if we can get his mic fixed. But because John could answer this as well, because me and John have visited places together, Claire. And very often we find it's not always the place that's haunted or attracts it, it's the person.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people don't realise that they're drawing in the energy sometimes, and they're creating it. And people want that excitement, but they don't know how to protect. And you get what you wish for sometimes. Yeah. And I don't know if John's got his mic switched on yet, John. We'll put him off till
not just me with the technical stuff.
Yes, we'll see if John can switch that in.
Usually it's me destroying the technical stuff, trying to figure out what I'm doing.
But electric things happen around us, and we need more. Here's one now. Jin, I don't know how to pronounce that. Jin.
It's Jin, yes, I know Jin, yeah. Hey, Jin.
I'll just double check if John's back on.
It should be back now, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Welcome, John.
Well, thank you. It's all this modern technology. I'm figuring it out. I just got a new microphone.
Here we go. John, just on the previous question there, because I always say me and you have been to houses together, and sometimes we find that the person's kind of haunted, not the house, or they're attracting the spirits. And my other question along was a good question about, if you see a shadow or you feel something in the house, what would you do? And what would you say to people? Because you've been developing and used to get a little bit freaked out at the beginning too, because I remember taking you.
Yeah. I mean, I think, well, trying not to freak out is probably the first thing. The first thing I'm going to say is, no matter what or who it is, whatever cannot harm you. All right. Even if there was something there that was a bit scary, it's from wherever it's come from, depending on your belief system, it can't harm you. Even entities from what's often known or called the lower astral can't actually harm you directly in this world. They can only try to influence you. They can try to latch onto you. They can do different things like that, and they can try and convince you to do something to yourself, but they can't actually directly harm you. And that's one of the things that we need to understand, that we are completely safe from them as long as we don't allow ourselves to be influenced by them. And that's the first thing I would say. say, the next thing, almost every time when there's something like that and you have that feeling, it probably isn't anything that you have to worry about. It's a very minority, a very small number of cases when it's something else. I have seen, as you said, Derek, you and I have went to, we visited one or two places and we've had a few interesting experiences. That's for sure. My sister's advice is always the old fashioned smudging. Get yourself some nice sage. Okay, get yourself a nice sage and literally just light it and wander around your flat while imagining, your area being cleared and being filled with love and light and things like that, and just literally do that and make up your own words. It doesn't have to be something that was someone else wrote in a book. The fact is, if you engineer or create something yourself, and then go and do it, it will have a lot more power to help you because there's an awful lot of power in what you create.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So literally do it yourself. Literally start from scratch and design something for yourself which you like, which really resonates with you as a kind of clearing ritual, and then do that. And because you did it for yourself because you made it up yourself, it will work all the better for you.
Cheers for that, John. Introduce you to Claire. She's the subject tonight.
Hello.
It's good that John's come on because very much like yourself, John was kind of forced to stand in for me one night and I was in a party, and John was developing and he's developing psychic more than a card reader, than the kind of mediumship that came kind of later in your development, John. And I says, right, you're doing this tonight, so because I can't be bothered, you're doing the show, and I went and left John.
Derek's almost trying to say that it happened by accident. The whole thing was by design. He planned the whole thing in advance. I'm just saying. He lured me there under false pretenses and then dumped me to do it.
You in your journey. That's what we're doing to Claire in the past life regression, and what we're doing in this life, Claire, is because we recognise like-minded people. Like I recognise John, even though I've known John all my life. John and we didn't know we had this side to us, and I pushed them into it as well. But once we started talking about it, we had so much in common. And I've known John since I was 16. But it wasn't until in our 30s and 40s, and John's older than me, it's like, that we realised that we had something in common. And his sister as well. Your sister was very much into kind of the mystical side as well. And just the subject tonight is obviously going, we're developing our mediumship side, and it's something that, I wouldn't say you've struggled with, but it's not been your strongest thing because you love your cards, you love your other things that you do as well, and your spiritual coaching. But what advice would you give to somebody, John, like Claire or other people who's developing? What advice would you give to them, John?
I know that's it. That's very interesting. What advice would I give to someone? For one thing, here's the thing: we're all developing, no matter what stage we are at or what stage we think we're at. You, Derek, are also developing.
Yeah.
You never stop developing, and it's something which is an ongoing process. It begins. You never even arrive at the middle, I don't think, never mind reach the end of it. It's a bit like the life's journey. So one thing is to not have expectations about how and when and what the process is going to involve for you. Because I think if you try to control it, then you might actually inhibit it. So one of the most important things is to have a complete open mind about how it's going to happen for you. And what is going to resonate with you and what doesn't, because it's different for everyone. So, for example, if you think about the so-called clairs, clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance, and things like that, and then if you think to yourself, well, I think I'm psychic and I think I want to practice a little bit, and so you say to yourself, oh, well, I fancy doing that one. Like everyone wants to be clairvoyant. I want to see images. I want to see spirits, and I want to do this and I want to do that. By attaching an outcome to it, you might inhibit yourself. The best thing you can do is to be completely open about how and what and when messages come for you, and to and to really allow that to happen in the way that it wants to, and be open to it.
And that's brilliant, John. And getting back to you, Claire, is like, we've got a question there just now, and this is where we can demonstrate our 3 individual kind of skills. And it's like Marie O'Reilly saying, my 15-year-old daughter says she's known something in her bedroom for years, and she nicknames it Bob. Can you pick up on who and what it is and why it's around her? Now, this is the type of questions that we get day in and day out, isn't it, Claire?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do get a lot of those around.
What would you say to Marie when you obviously, I don't know if you know her, one of your kind of people, or what would you say to her around that if you were answering that in a
For me, what I'm picking up with that is I would say that is one of your daughter's guides. I don't feel that it's not a negative entity at all. What I feel is it's protecting, looking out for your daughter. And that's why she's able to nickname it and is always around her, because it is guiding her and helping support her, is what I feel around that. It's almost like a guardian angel around her. That's what I'm kind of picking up. It's a spirit which is around her, which is guiding her in a good way, and has always been there for her, is what I've picked up on that one.
On that myself, I taught my kids at a very young age about the Archangel Michael, and I made it into a kind of cartoon type of picture, where they could use that as protection, because they had imaginary friends and they spoke to them. And like you, I feel it's a guide, or it's a family member who becomes the imaginary friend, and they nickname them Bob or whatever. It could be their granny, it could be a great somebody or whatever. But I really feel that she's been a little bit hassled at school or something like that, to be shown at school. That's how it works for me. And that she's maybe a bit of friendship, and she's getting it from the spirit realm. I don't know if she's very sensitive and she isolates herself, Marie, but that's what I'm kind of picking up, and that's why the Bob is kind of in her head, or that protection is there. And it's something that's been there for a while, and there might be something, because 15-year-olds go through a lot of peer pressure, a lot of pressure of studying and whatnot, and the last couple of years hasn't really helped either. And just quickly, John, just your thoughts on this.
Well, you know me and my tarot, don't you? So, the King of Wands, someone is looking after her. I think someone around her is looking after her. Someone with that kind of energy. I mean, a fatherly energy is what's coming to me for some reason. This is potentially an ancestor, I think. So I mean, it could be a past life, as Claire said. I just have that kind of ancestor energy. Someone male who is in the ancestral line, who's kind of looking over her, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I hope that helps, Marie. And just a question came in there from Lisa Brett. I was woken up in the early hours of the morning a while ago by a very strong perfume type smell. What would it have been? There's no obvious reason for it. I get smells a lot. I don't know about you, Claire, but when I'm doing my mediumship, I do get a lot of smells and stuff.
Yeah, I do.
It reminds me of, how do you say it? It reminds me of certain things and places in my life, and it's a trigger. And very often, I can even get the smell of the whiskey, and I know what it is. And then I give it, and you're a bit frightened to give it because you're taking a bit of a gamble to the client. But I give it and laugh. And it's surprising, just like we're saying with HP Sauce Ball earlier on, what smells can do. Now, when I tune into that, it does feel like it's a very sweet smell, and it's a perfume that belonged to. I've got more of an auntie type version, maybe not quite mum, could be a stepmom. That's my first thought anyway, and I'm just going with my first thought. That's always the most powerful. So I don't know what, Claire, if you're picking up on that.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of thing I was picking up on. It's like an auntie or a great aunt or something along those lines. In that line is what I've got up from there. And the smell coming through is just something that she would have worn. It's something that would have come through, and it's just sort of letting you know that she's around you when you're needing to get picked up, you know, and you're needing a little bit of a boost, a little bit of support. And that's what it is. She's just letting you know that she's around, is what I've got through from that one.
Definitely. And let's see now, I've got my mum's house as well. Oh, okay. Here's an interesting one. I know James is over, he's abroad just now, and he's on YouTube just now, so we'll get somebody from YouTube, John, for a change in Clare. My mum's house has a mental paranormal activity, especially at Christmas, in a dark shadow entity. I actually think that's a good thing that come to visit us at Christmas, you know. So it's like sometimes, because like I remember doing a reading, and I was in Fort William, and it's in somebody's house, and I'm always near Christmas time with December, and I kept seeing dime bars in my head clairvoyantly, and I could taste them and smell them, because I used to take them home for the kids offshore, because we only got them offshore. I think they're more American kind of thing, dime bars. And our father in the house, who's now in spirit, was in spirit at the time, loved dime bars, and he always brought them home for the kids at Christmas. So all he was trying to do, and there was noise in the bathroom and all that, well, he used to spend, I can resonate with this, and John will laugh at this, because when my kids were growing up, I used to go and hide in the toilet. It's the only place I get peace to meditate.
Yeah.
And I've told lots of stories about this. And I used to go in, and I gave this to the person, and says, well, I feel him sitting in the toilet. Oh, he always sat in the toilet reading his paper and all that, because he used to hide in the toilet. And I'm dime bars. And once you realise it was his father, the message started flowing. And again, it was one of these ones that didn't get a chance to see Perio. So, James, I would say to you that somebody who's maybe passed over, I got a feeling that maybe passed over near Christmas, and they want to come back and try and get your attention. But I know James is quite psychic himself, and maybe pass on to them. Again, ask them to come into your thoughts. So I don't know what you two are picking up on that. John, what do you think of that?
A shadowy entity. I mean, when you use that kind of words, it sounds a little ominous, doesn't it? But I'm not feeling anything ominous about it at all. No, I'm thinking someone young, actually, someone quite young, but for whom Christmas was important. You say part of a very powerful tradition that always returns back to that same place again. It's that kind of, it feels like that kind of energy. But when we think we see something in a house, part of the reason why it scares us is because it can kind of appear a little bit like like a shadow in a corner or something we see out the corner of eye, and we're not sure what it is, and so we have that little bit of a fear reaction. But it isn't scary at all the vast majority of times. Is one of the things that we should remember. Almost all the time, it's nothing scary at all. In this case, I'm feeling like someone quite young. I'm feeling like someone for whom Christmas is a very important time of year, who was there in that place at some point in the past and likes to return every year. It could be someone who's kind of, for some reason, kind of stuck here, if you like, as opposed to having sort of crossed over and what have you. It could be someone who's kind of stuck for some reason and is returning.
Yeah, and I definitely feel, and I'm just reading back on some of the messages here, and this wasn't planned tonight to do some of this stuff, Claire. And we didn't plan this. I just thought with John coming on, this helps the subject actually, because we're getting three different perspectives on the mediumship side of things, and I really think this is fantastic doing this live and getting these sort of questions, and there really are good questions. Obviously, viewers.
It's fantastic coming on and seeing, obviously meeting John, coming on with yourself and everything like that, and seeing everybody else's perspective and the question. Yeah, I love it.
It's good fun, isn't it?
It's great, yeah. I've kind of got over the nerves now, so I'm kind of getting better.
We can invite people on randomly, and Bridget's got a question here, and we'll maybe make this the kind of last one, because hi, can I ask if you can see what spirits are at my house? It's every day, and how many.
Sorry.
And I don't know about the others. Now, very often when we get this sort of type of question, I put on the big screen now, myself up, when we get this type of question is, yes, we are missing our husband. That's the first thing I'll say to you. And sometimes we bring in these other spirits because we want our husband to be there and we're asking. So what you've got to do, Bridget, is take control yourself, right? And be specific in what you ask for when you're in because I just feel it could be his spirit guides you're picking up on. I don't feel any negativity around this. And I do think there's some messages that he didn't get a chance to say before he passed over. And I also think that's why he's coming through to get that message to you. There's a lot of personal stuff I'm picking up on, and I really don't want to give that live on air. But I do feel that you did have a strong connection when he was here, and you still got a strong connection. But I do feel it's his spirit guides that are trying to get your attention to help him, because he might have not been able to speak near the end of his life. But that's what I'm picking up and feeling. I don't know if, here we go. Can you speak now, Claire?
I can, yes. The joys of animals. You never work with animals and children, do they say? Yeah, I do feel that obviously you've got the spirit of your husband around, and he isn't the only one. I do feel that, like Derek was saying, with the guys that are around, and it's like they're trying to pass on, like he was saying, they're trying to pass on the messages. And I feel with that as well, there are a lot of signs that you're going to be seeing with the numbers, the 22s, this sort of thing when you're looking at the clocks. Some of the smells that are around as well are coming around, and it's to help comfort you as well. And it's trying to get messages across to you. Like Derek was saying, it's not something that we can sort of say here, but it's trying to give you the messages that you're needing. There's something that he needed to say, so he's trying to let you know.
I'm going to get John. I'm going to get you to just pull a quick card on this, because I thought and maybe a card would be better in this situation, John. Because obviously there's a lot we can't say on the air live because it's personal.
Well, I know it's an interesting card to get for something like this. So, the 8 of Wands.
Yeah. We're reaching out, John, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, this. I mean, I'm wondering whether he passed quite quickly. You know, I'm not sure. You know, I'm not picking up anything in particular. To be honest with you, you guys have pretty much said the things that I probably would have. I wouldn't really be adding much to it. I'm not quite sure what this 8 of Wands means, unless it's some kind of message that he's intended for her to understand. It could well be that I'm not picking up on it, but she might herself might understand what the 8 of Wands might be telling her. You know, so obviously some kind of situation that's fast moving. You know, something that could end very positively, I think, or it could be something that's kind of up in the air that he's worried about. So any of these things is coming to my mind to say, but it's more likely, because I'm not really feeling it what it is, it's more likely that other than what you two guys have already said, it could be that she herself might understand what the 8 of Wands actually means for her.
Yeah. And she just validating, he did die very quickly, John and Claire. She's saying that. So this is just us. So back to the three of us. This is just us kind of scratching the surface here tonight. And, you know, we're coming near the end of it. And I just thought to take advantage of John, Claire, when you came online, because I didn't think you were working tonight.
Yeah, I was working today, but it was earlier on, and I just happened to randomly switch on the computer, and there you were.
Me and John started the Psychic Breakfast Show lives and the chat show lives maybe 3 years ago now, John. And it grew and grew and grew, and with a different guest on, and sometimes I host myself, and John will do the odd one, and he's got a podcast now, John, haven't you? And he's really grown spiritually, and he's like a part-time, because he's went back to his other jobs as well, but he's certainly developed in turning He's got a shop like yourself, not selling crystals, but it just shows you if you want to be in this field, you can find a way.
Well, that's it. Yeah, it's like anything else. You know, the more you work at it, the more it'll come to you. But it's patience.
Yeah, and we've had to learn the technology as well, Claire. So you know, me and John have made some mega mistakes as well. So, but this is us giving back. This is us giving our time back, not just to you, Claire, and to John, to people out there. It's not to be scared of people like us, because behind the scenes we care about you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just why we do what we do. And you know, we're not in this for the money side of it. And very often, John, if we make a loss at some of these things.
Yeah. Well, I guarantee I'm making a loss for the next few months to pay for all this new stuff I've just bought.
But it's all about connecting, and I do believe we've proved tonight, right, that we can all connect to spirit, and it's a wonderful gift to have. And the mediumship is the subject we're on about tonight, to bring through somebody and to work with others and meet others, to work differently, and we all learn from each other. And John's way in was the cards kind of first, and now he's opening up to some of the things that both me and you do, Claire. But our first thought was, I did this first and then the cards. We're going, you would do it the other way around. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Come in.
You know, I actually started with runestones.
Yes, and
things like that. You know, I started with runestones originally, and then I moved on to tarot. The reason I started with runestones was because I was scared of tarot, not because it was scary, but because there were too many cards, and I thought myself, 25 runes, 24 runes of black rune, that's easy, I'll learn that. You know, 78 cards. Oh no, I'm not going. I'm looking at a whole massive pack of tarot cards. That'll take forever, I thought. You know, but it does come eventually. You just have to work at and practice, and everything comes with time. And it did for me as well, and it can for anyone else out there who wants to learn.
And just clear, what's in a sentence or a phrase or whatever, what would you say to everybody out there tonight? What's a message for everybody?
The message for everybody out there tonight is just follow your heart and always keep your heart open.
Yeah.
Just keep open mind, open heart, and never dismiss anything.
John, what's your quick message?
One word: authenticity. You know, be true to yourself and who you truly are.
Yeah.
You know, one good way of doing that is actually if you read something or you're told something, go and find out the exact opposite as well, and have an open mind to it. And don't take anything for granted. Take a step back from everything at this time, because in this time, in this world, things are very difficult to discern. And so try to give yourself that space and a step back to look at things with fresh eyes. And trust yourself, trust your own intuition, and be authentic, and you won't go far wrong.
Mine is kind of synchronicity, right? And this is the right time, the right place comes. And I think it's the right time tonight with you coming on, John, and Claire, you're thinking on the show as well. And this is also mission is I need to get back into doing this again, because I stopped it because I wasn't well for a while. And I love being effective, and I think tonight we've been quite effective, Claire.
It's been brilliant. It's been so amazing, and thank you for having me on. It's really great to meet John as well. It's just been, and all the wonderful people that have joined us today. It's just been fantastic. Really, really has been. Just. And
I will get that video, and I'll doctor it up. We'll show that bit, so maybe I'll have a subject on the past. And there's your Instagram, kind of your Instagram, so my people, and obviously I've got my Patreon there as well, and the membership site, and the more members I get, the more I can do. And we've got quite a few now, and there's loads and loads of really good information developing and wellness advice on there as well. And you can join from £3 to £15 or something. But I used to have an online school, and I've put everything onto the Patreon now because it's a lot easier and it's a lot more effective for people as well. And that's maybe something that you could look at as well, Claire and John. It's like
Patreon.
And there's your website, Claire. And obviously, John, you've got yours, and most people know yours. I don't know what you're calling this. I like John the Oracle when you started.
John's Oracle is still there. You know, the the main website is still johnzorrico.com. From johnzorrico.com, you can find everything else I've got. So you only have to go to one place, and then there will be links to other bits that I do and things like that as well there. So, because obviously I have other sites and they have other names attached to them and things like that. But if you go to johnzorrico.com, you'll find that is my main website, and it does link to other stuff as well.
Yeah. And just for Maria there, this is Patreon, just a membership site. If you click on that link, you'll explain everything we explained there. Now, we're going to say cheerio everybody out there, and you two will speak in a wee minute. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Claire, for being a guest.
Thank you for having me, and lovely to meet you, John.
Lovely to meet you as well, Claire.
Spontaneously. Again. Right, see you later, guys.
Bye.